Parashat Vayikra, we study Parashat Vayikra, Chodesh Adar, Mishnat Adar, Marbin B'Simcha. Adar comes, we increase Simcha. It's an interesting note that Kahal Israel, they gave a gift to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Purim that created and generated Simcha for all generations. What was that gift? And how did they create such a Simcha for all generations? We are studying Parashat Vayikra. Parashat Vayikra talks about Korbanot. Korbanot comes from the word of kurba, to come close to Hashem. It's not an idea of killing a korban. It's the idea that the person should see himself to self-sacrifice. The person should sacrifice himself for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, first Torah talks about Korbanot. First Torah talks about when you want to bring a korban, you bring a cow, or you bring a sheep, or goat. And then Torah talks about if somebody brings a bird. And then Torah talks about if somebody is very poor and he cannot afford to bring even a bird. He brings flour, a little bit flour, solet mincha. He brings meal offering for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, flour, brings the flour for Hashem, and that's the korbanot that's being brought. Now it's very interesting that we are living in a world that the thing that you do, the more you pay money, the more expression and projection there is. And that's the way that works. Now, Chacham are telling us something very interesting about korbanot. When a person brings a cow that he pays maybe $15,000, $20,000, $5,000 for a cow, the expression of Torah is when you do it, it's reyach nichovach LaHashem. It's the pleasant smell for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, Rashi says, what does pleasant smell mean? Really, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's not physical, it doesn't smell. Rashi says, it's a pleasant smell because I said and my will was done. Hashem says something, and the person does it. The will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's a pleasant smell for Hashem. Then the person brings off a bird, second level, that he doesn't have that much money. Torah says, Reyach nichovach LaHashem. There is no camera, there is no video to show, that's less. But Reyach nichovach LaHashem, the same terminology that was used for cow, that spends so much money, the same terminology is being used for bird. For a cow, we don't bring camera and to show, to make such a great commotion and projection. Torah says the same terminology, Now Rashi brings out Chazal, very important point. Rashi says, in Perek Aleph, Pasuk Yud Zayin, at the end of the Rashi says, Ne'mar be'of reyach nechovach, ne'mar be'hemar reyach nechovach. Torah says for bird is the pleasant smell, and for animals is pleasant smell, both. In other words, comparing notes of couple dollars to thousands of dollars. Somebody would increase, and somebody would bring less. They are equal in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as long as their kavanah, their intention is for Hashem. Very interesting. In other words, Torah says what counts for HaKadosh Baruch Hu is intention. It doesn't matter if a person cannot afford. It doesn't matter. In other words, in the high perspective of people, you cannot afford. There's no respect. There's nothing. But in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's not like that. Hashem says, according to whatever that you could afford, you bring. It's the same terminology. Everything is the same. Now the question is that there's a third party here. The third party is so poor that he cannot afford even a bird, and this person brings mincha, flour, and they bring it to Beit HaMikdash. And for that also Torah says, Reyach nichovach LaHashem, is the pleasant smell to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now it's interesting, Rashi brings this drasha comparing the notes of animal to the bird. It doesn't bring animal to flour. In other words, it would have been much greater chidush, much greater novelty that Torah should bring, that behema, that the person pays so much money, and flour that couple cents are the same. Now, if you notice, Rashi brings different chazal. Rashi says, the pasuk says, "V'nefesh ki taqrir korban michal Hashem." Pasuk Aleph, nefesh taqrim, bet, perek bet, pasuk Aleph, nefesh taqrir korban michal Hashem. Now Rashi says, "Lo nemar nefesh bechol korban dava ela b'mincha." Now, for all of the korbanot, Torah says, "Ki adam ki yaqrib," a person that brings. Where also the same thing, but for flour, Torah says, "V'nefesh ki taqrir," soul that brings. Now Rashi asks, why? Why by flour says soul that he brings? Why? who usually brings flour? Only a poor person. A poor person brings flour. Omar Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Malani Allah Keilu Hichlem Nafsho. Hashem says, somebody who brings flour, I account for him as if he brought his soul. Unbelievable Yesod in Torah. We thought somebody who brings a cow and flour is the same. Torah says no. People could afford. Whoever could afford, somebody brings the animal, somebody brings off. They are the same in front of Hashem. Echad hamar be echad hamamit. Bilbat shechabe debor shamayim. The only thing is that the intention should be for Shammai, for the sake of Hashem. But there is somebody who cannot afford. He cannot make it. He has to take away from his food, his bread, to bring for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem said this person is much higher than other people. He's not comparing notes. It's as if he brings his soul. We have Akedat Yitzchak only one time in the history that Yitzchak brought himself as a korban. But Torah is telling us in relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, somebody, something is very hard for him. He has to take away from his bread he brings. That is as if he brought his soul. Now Mefarshim say, this is not just by korbanot. A lot of things in life. Person doesn't have time for learning. He really takes away from his sleep, takes away from his pleasure, takes away from himself. For learning Torah, that is not the same as other people that they could make it and they learn. That learning would be like as if he brings his soul. Somebody doesn't have time to do chesed for other people, kindness for other people. He gives up from himself to do kindness, to do mitzvah, to care for other people. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu said as if he's bringing his soul. In relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's important the attitude, the way that the person does. And the person gives up from himself for Hashem. Now on Purim, Israel all came together and they were Moser Nefesh 3 days and nights. They offered themselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They said, Hashem, we sinned, but we are ready to change. We are ready to make it. They gave over themselves. And once they gave over themselves, they created a day. That's why HaKadosh says, the Kiddush of this day is even more than Yom Kippur. Kippur is Kippurim, like Purim. But Purim is much greater. Where does it come from? So much energy, so much power. What happened on Purim? Do you know what happened? God, Israel gave over themselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like a lot of korbanot, like a soul. They said, we cut off everything for Hashem 3 days and nights. They fasted and they did Teshuvah, and through that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved them. And that created the Yom Purim for Kahal Israel.